is Aurora and welcome to this video. Today we're talking about New Year's resolutions for 2022. Before we start though, I just want to ask you, are you noticing anything different today? You know, something is a bit more different in some way. Can you notice? Well, first of all, I'm wearing makeup, a little bit of rouge and a bit of mascara. And the lipstick that I'm wearing is this beautiful Bury Me in lipstick. Lipstick that Sophia made in collaboration with Colourpop a few years ago now. I got this set from my partner for our anniversary, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway, the reason why I'm wearing makeup today is because I got new lights. My partner got me some professional lighting for Christmas, and now I'm first time trying it out and I look a bit washed out, so I had to put on a bit of color on myself so I don't look super dead for the beginning of the year. Thanks to these lights, you can expect to see a bit more professional looking footage, but not too professional since I'm the one still filming this and editing and all that jazz, so it can't be fully professional or, high quality or anything like that, but I can try, and that's the only thing that matters. Now let's talk about the things that we actually are going to talk about in this video. And I saw this meme, so people are expecting a sequel to 2020 or just the prolonged effects that we noticed in 2021, and I feel them. I know that this year was stressful, as was the year before, that we are living in chaotic times, that some are struggling even more than 2 years ago, especially in my country, where of course you have the pandemic, but we also had a lot of devastating earthquakes in the last year. Literally yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of these horrible earthquakes that literally ruined people's homes, and they're still living outside after a year and all that. And not everyone had the privilege to use these 2 years as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to better themselves in some way because they were too busy surviving. And that's just something I want to mention at the beginning of this video, just because I don't think that everyone is playing the same game, that everyone is in the same race, and I think that we should be mindful about that, that if we had an opportunity to be more successful in these last 2 years, that we have to be grateful for that and realize that this is not the reality of a lot of people. If you are in a place of power or privilege or anything like that, it is your duty at this moment to help those in need, not just now in the holiday seasons, every day of the year if you can. At least if you can't afford to help someone financially or find them a new home or anything like that, at least be kind and be understanding of other people's struggles. Don't judge them. Live together, die alone, if you will. I just wanted to make this disclaimer so that I can continue with this video talking about all of my achievements in 2021 and thinking about all the things that I want to do in 2022. And I just want to make sure that I'm not coming out, as a bragging bitch or something like that. And I just want to make sure that everyone feels worthy the same no matter what you achieved in the last year or two, because as I said, some of us had to struggle a bit more to survive and some had the privilege not to, so there is that. Now let's talk about some of the highlights in 2021 when it comes to my personal and professional life. So 2021 was a year of accomplishments for me, I'm not gonna lie. If I had to say a word for each of the years, for 2019, 2020, and 2021, I would say that 2019 was the year of failure. I had to pause my studies because I failed one exam. I couldn't enroll into the masters. Then I started finally working in the meantime, and the pandemic happened. So I was literally home for a lot of months until the late of 2020 when I enrolled into the master's finally, and I enrolled in some other studies than the ones I did before, which turned out to be a great idea. My grades skyrocketed and I had more time and energy to do a lot of other things. So there's that part. Because of that free time and energy and all that, the 2020 was the year of learning. It was the year when I said to myself that it's okay to, run after things that I find amusing and not something that people told me that I should do or that I shouldn't. Fashion is something that I was always passionate about, but I didn't have courage to talk about it publicly, especially sustainable fashion. I just thought that it wasn't a subject that I had the privilege to talk about for some reason. And finally, in 2020, I gave myself permission to learn and to grow in that direction. And in 2020, I started this YouTube channel. Now, fast forward to 2021. If the 2019 was the year of failure and the 2020 was the year of learning, 2021 was the year of accomplishing. I don't know how those things happened. It happened in the last year. I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful that I did. I feel like I'm living in a fairy tale, and I'm worrying myself every day with the thought that I'm gonna just wake up one day and realize that I'm still stuck in my old, ways and doings, and that I didn't actually achieve all of the stuff that I did. You know, having an imposter syndrome is just so. But I'm learning to take credit for the things that I did, and that's one of the reasons why I'm actually filming this video. I want to commemorate everything that I did in 2021 so that I can always look back on it and be proud of myself and use it as an encouragement to keep on doing the things that I'm doing and keep on loving the things that I'm loving. So in 2021, when it comes to my professional life, I published I published an article about women's rights in a student scientific magazine. I became a member as an editor of that student magazine, and a few months later, I became an editor in chief of that same magazine. So that is a huge deal for me because I would love to have anything to do with writing and editing and publishing in my professional career after graduating. And also on the professional note, and with the same article that I published in a journal, I actually went to the conference at my faculty and presented my thoughts there. That was fun. I didn't think that I would do something like that during my studies. I also became a TA for my favorite professor at university, my role model when it comes to feminism in my country. So, and thanks to her, I also got an opportunity to be included into this huge project, this research about women's rights in my country, and I can't wait to start working on it in 2021. Then, also, when it comes to professional things, I became a member of student council at my faculty. I became a student representative for my whole class. Those positions are some that I enjoy a lot. It takes a lot of time, and sometimes other students call you in, difficult times, and then you're doing something else and all that jazz. But I love helping people, and studying can be super stressful, and being a student at a faculty in another city or something like that can be super hard and complicated, and bureaucracy is the story of itself. And I remember how it was 5 years ago when I enrolled in college for the first time, so I want to help others not to make the same mistakes, to make their student lives a bit easier and all that. And I'm just pleased and honored to be doing that function at my faculty. Also, being a TA is amazing. I'm a TA. I haven't graduated yet. I just have my bachelor's degree. But the other students don't know that, since the professor included me in her class and all that, and I'm helping her with students' presentations and things like that. They think that I'm also someone of high status in the academia, which is not true, at least not at this moment. And it's amusing when someone calls me professor or assistant or something like that, because I hope that one day I will be that, and that I will look back and all that, at the beginning of my professional career, and remember how silly I felt and like an imposter. But oh, and also, I almost forgot. I somehow, since we were doing online classes, remote learning, and all that jazz, I decided to use that opportunity in 2020, for the year of 2020-2021, to enroll in as many classes as I could humanly undertake. And I literally finished 3 semesters in 2 semesters. So now I'm listening only 3 subjects, and I have only 2 theses to write for this year, and that's that. And the last thing for, that professional part of my life, that studies and all that, I started a project that is super dear to my heart, and that is such a school, if you will. I translated it from my language, and its premise is to popularize sociology in high schools, to show high schoolers that being a sociologist is a super fun job, and well paid job, that they won't have as many problems finding a job, that they won't have to work at McDonald's if they if they get a degree in sociology. And it's been doing great. I love this. Enjoy meeting students and teachers from all around the country, and meeting them and talking with them about their passion for sociology and how they're striving to become sociologists, and then us helping them to achieve that by helping them take the exams and all that. I I really believe that this is something that is my legacy. I just wish that there was a program like this when I was in high school, because I got bullied for my choice of studies, because everyone else was doing STEM or medicine or something like that, and then there was me in the corner talking about sociology and history, and everybody else was like, no, mm, you're talking about some foggy shit, so stop. Anyway, now let's jump into the section of not professional things, but that kind of overlap actually with professional, because somehow they took off and became, a thing that I'm actually doing. So one of those crazy situations was at the beginning of this year. I got a mentorship. It was totally wild. I had no idea that they would actually choose me. I mean, I had to create a portfolio of my own photographs, and I photograph a lot, but I'm not a professional photographer. I don't have a portfolio or anything like that. It's tricky. You know, I just threw in a bunch of photos and call it a day. I decided to expand the number of people that got into the mentorship. So the four of us got it with this amazing Estonian artist, Maria Kapayeva, and we met with her once a month on Zoom or Skype. We talked about our research in forgotten women's history, which is, perfect subject for me. And that's the moment I decided the theme of my thesis. And I found my mentor, faculty, and all that, but I couldn't write an article for this art project that I got mentorship for. So I had to create a gallery exhibition, and while other people enrolled in it were actual artists, amazing, talented people, and nothing like that. I couldn't travel beyond the country's borders at that moment, which I would have to do to complete my research as an author of the photography. I had to use photos from someone else and create a collage and all that, and that was presented at a gallery exhibition in Office for Photography of my country. I didn't ever expect that Aurora, would be called by name into some gallery. That would be a thing, and I would be happy about it. But be called into the gallery and send them your work and then come there, see that work on the window that was posted, and then open the gallery exhibition and film the short videos for YouTube as a virtual walk through the exhibition and all that. I felt like I was, levitating that day. I didn't feel like anything of that was real. It's still surreal to me more than 6 months later that thing actually happened, because wow, how does something like that happen? The next thing is in the first month of 2021, I enrolled into internship for translators from Yugoslavic languages to English, and in this magazine that is all about sustainability, women's rights, and all that jazz. And I clicked with them. Those women that run the magazine are amazing and talented and super friendly. And the principle that they all work on is, empower each other so that we can all learn and grow together. So I did 3 months of internship, and then they offered me a permanent position in their magazine, which was mind blowing. I mean, I was always thinking about, Carrie Bradshaw and things like that, and I always dreamt of that life, but it felt so out of the reach. It felt like something that there is no way that I, Aurora, could be doing something like that. It just didn't make any sense. How would I write something that people would actually like to read and that would help them in their everyday life? But somehow it happened. I wrote a few articles for them in 2021 about feminism, about retail detox. The retail detox one was the first one actually, and then intersectional feminism, and then this article about how the people we are surrounded with actually influence the way we think, act, and you know live our life. So that we have to be mindful about who we surround ourselves with. So there is that, and also the magazine gave me an opportunity to host a podcast. I know, everyone is doing podcasts right now, so it's not a huge deal, but it is a huge deal for me because someone asked me to host it. I never thought of myself as someone who is good enough looking to be in front of the camera. Second, well enough spoken to be in front of the camera, and third thing, to be enough extroverted so that I can actually talk with strangers, people that I've just met in front of the cameras for the whole world to see. Just no, in a million years I wouldn't dream of this, and yet here we are. We already published 2 episodes uh, on YouTube, on Deezer, on Spotify, and all that, and it just amazing. I met so many beautiful and smart people through this podcast, and it gave me a lot of confidence when it comes to public speaking. Then another thing is, 2 months ago I enrolled into this workshop for fashion illustration. Of course, you have to send portfolio of your drawings, fashion drawings, for this course, but I didn't have any. I mean, I did, the ones that I showed you 3 months ago in a video, but I didn't have anything real. So I literally sent them that video and told them to look at it and hear what I'm saying, actually, what are my plans with fashion and all that, and then make a decision to invite me to their course or not. And they actually did. It was taught by this very interesting local designer who makes hats. That was a fun experience. It came to an end a few weeks ago, and now I just have to finalize my drawings and send them on the competition that we will be having on their online platform. I will definitely not win. There are so many talented women in that workshop. It was mind blowing. I mean, okay, some of them are in school for illustration or for fashion in general or something like that, but still, I mean, how? But still, it was an interesting experience. I learned a lot, and my drawing actually became a lot better. So I'm hopeful that it will get even better soon. And also, I reached 52 videos during 2020 and 2021 with more than 10,000 overall views and more than 100 subscribers, and that's amazing. Thank you so much. If you didn't, please subscribe, like this video, comment down below, and let's keep on growing together. Now let's talk about the resolutions for 2022. I'm not gonna talk about some of the professional things that I plan to do for this year because they're not ready yet to be shared with the public. I mean, I'm working on my 2 master's theses, both in feminism and all that, so that's gonna be fun. I'm also keeping on working with the magazine and doing the podcast and all that, and I I'm really interested to see who am I going to meet in 2022 thanks to that podcast. When it comes to YouTube, I have some plans that I hope to actually achieve. Of course, again, just like the last year, it makes no sense to say that I'm gonna monetize my channel in 2022. It makes no sense to say that I'm gonna have 500 subscribers by the end of 2022. It makes no sense to say that I would have 50,000 overall views in 2022. All those things could happen, none of those things could happen, and some of those things could happen, and none of them have anything to do with me. All of them are just a result of the algorithm and algorithm showing the content actually to the people that might like it, and then them actually liking it, taking the action to subscribe and all that. It's out of my control, and I just won't bother with it. Just like the last year, I'm creating goals that I have control over, that I can hold myself responsible for, that I can course correct if I have to, and that I can actually fulfill in the end. I think that's the most important. For 2022, my YouTube goals are to reach 100 uploaded videos on my channel overall. So that would mean at least 48 videos. And also, I'm planning on publishing a video at least once a week so that I can test, those algorithms and see if it's actually true that being consistent pays off. Because last year I did accomplish my goal of 50 videos, but it was chaotic, man. I had a lot of other things to do and accomplish and work on in the last years. You've been told in the last half an hour, but I wasn't consistent. Some months I didn't publish anything, some months I published 4 videos, some months I published 8 videos, some weeks I published 2 videos, some weeks I didn't publish anything. So this year I don't want to do that. I want to publish at least 1 video a week, which will eventually come to those 48 or 52 if I'm lucky videos at least. And then if I'm feeling like it, I'm gonna film a bit more videos if I have time for it and energy, and we'll see where it will get us. When it comes to general life goals for 2022, I want to work on some personal things that bother me a bit, and I just want to grow as a person and be a little bit better than the last year. I think that you can't plan personal growth, you can't plan how you're gonna change, how you're gonna grow and evolve and all that, but you can strive for it. You can always try to be a bit more better, a bit more kind, a bit more passionate or empathetic or anything towards others and towards yourself, because not only you deserve that, but you also have and you have the right for it, but you also have the responsibility of being okay to yourself and to others. If all of us were okay to ourselves and to others, there would be no crime, there would be no violence, no hate. And I know that's not achievable. I know I'm a sociologist, I know how fucked we are. But we can still hope, we can still try. If 2020 and 2021 taught me anything, it's that at least trying to keep your head above the water is sometimes not only the best thing that you can do, because you can do more, but the best thing for you to do because of the consequences that just that struggle and your determination will have for your future growth. So there is that. I just hope that in 2022 I will be a better person than I was now, and that I was a year ago or 2 years ago or 10 years ago. That's the only thing that is in my control, to always be better. Not better as in these artificial things that us humans like to put on ourselves as some life goals and things like that. We have to abandon the American dream and the regular, you have to get married by that age, have children at that age, buy your first house, your first automobile by this age or something like that. First of all, because it's just not possible to do it in the timeline anymore, because house prices are skyrocketing, fuel is super expensive in my country, and the whole situation is just not appropriate for you to achieve those things that were pushed to you that you should. So make your own plans, make your own goals. It is your life. And as long as you're not hurting anyone or, doing something bad for yourself or for others, you're free to do whatever you want. So if in 2022 you want to paint more, or you want to sing more, or you want to dance more, or you want to do yoga or something like that, do it. You don't have to be good at it, you don't have to do it every day, but just try and do it sometimes, because at least that is better than nothing. Standing still, or even worse, going backwards, is not an option for us as humans, as a species, on our dying planet anymore. And if you change at least one thing about yourself that could be a bit better for yourself, for the environment, for other people, why not? But don't dream big. So, okay, you can dream big, but don't plan big. So you can dream of being the best recycler in your country, for all I know. Or you can dream of being the best in your class. Or you can dream of your dream job or anything like that. But that has nothing to do with reality. That's why it's called a dream. The thing that you should do instead is to see what aspects of those dreams are actually in your control right now, not in 10 years or so, and what is that thing that you can do today, tomorrow, or in a month that will get you to that point of your dreams. Your dreams won't happen overnight, they won't happen without any sacrifice or work or anything like that, and it probably won't happen without money, let's be honest. But you can try, and you can be as consistent as you can be, as good at it as you can be, and let it be. Just see where it will take you. Sometimes the best paths are those that weren't planned, that weren't traveled before, that aren't familiar. I mean, look at that situation with the Amplitude magazine for me. I had no idea when I enrolled in that translating internship a year ago that now I would have few articles behind me and a podcast, and that I would learn so much about WordPress and search engine optimization and Instagram algorithm and things like that. It just something that I didn't plan, but that happened, and I just rolled with it, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions that I made in my life. I will never regret enrolling in that internship, and I know that a lot of people can't afford to work for free for an internship or to volunteer. A lot of the things that I achieved in the last year or two that I mentioned in this video or some other videos cost a lot of money, or they're not paid, so I have to have other money to compensate for that. And I'm grateful for my situation that allows me to grow in this direction and to explore myself and figure out what I actually want, need, and can do. And if you have that privilege as well, use it. Don't let it go to waste, because so many people are not so lucky. And if you have at least half an hour a day of free time, you don't have to watch, for example, 3 episodes of your favorite show, but you could watch 2 and you have that spare hour or so. Use it for something that you love. Use it to create something, to be passionate about. But as I said, be realistic. Don't tell yourself that by January 1st you're gonna start waking up at 5 a.m. or that you're gonna go to bed at 9 p.m. or that you're only gonna eat organic food. You're gonna start exercising every day for 2 hours, going to the gym. I don't know what else gibberish people say in this time of year, but don't do that. Be realistic, be honest with yourself, what you actually can do, want to do, and will do, and stick to that. You know the saying, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you will end up in the stars. It is a great metaphor for those things that we talk about of you don't have to plan a lot, but go with the flow and see where things will take you. And sometimes the most unexpected things are the best for you. But the other side of that coin is, if you shoot too high for the moon, you'll probably end up in the abyss, in the void, in the grand beyond, ever expanding universe, or whatever. Shoot where you actually want to get, don't be sad when you somehow don't achieve it. Be realistic. If you shoot for getting up at 5 a.m. every morning, after a week you will be exhausted. Your body is in shock. And you're probably gonna just let it go after a week because you don't want to feel like shit for not sleeping every day. And there goes your resolution. But if you say that each week I'm gonna wake up 5 minutes earlier than the last week, you're getting to your final goal until the end of the year, and you'll feel accomplished without feeling so stressed. So keep that in mind for your New Year's resolution. Your New Year's resolution, please let me know in the comments down below. And what do you think about my lightning? Please also let me know in the comments down below so that I can figure out what actually works with this. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can see if I kept up with my New Year's resolution for 2022. Thank you so much for liking this video, for commenting on it, on all of the other videos as well. It means a lot, and if you're subscribed, I will see you some other time. Bye!